could say that without fear, being mistaken, the light greatsword is my favorite new weapon type in Elden Ring, and I hope that we'll see more of this type of weapon in future iterations of FromSoft titles. That being said, we have already made a build out of the Mlady. This time around we have also made a build back in the day of Trevor Belmont. I'm just a sucker for Castlevania games. In this case scenario, this time around we're building a cosplay of a character for Alucard with the Mlady, because I think that the Mlady playstyle and moveset fits that Alucard kind of playstyle and moveset very good, especially from the one from the Netflix TV show. I wouldn't say that it's that much from the video games, but at least in the TV show we have a little bit of a better depiction of how could he look with his dueling sword that he uses. So everything about this build is going to be focused about being as closely resemblant as Alucard as possible. Thankfully enough, bleeding is also a monstrosity to add to the Mlady. It kind of fits the playstyle and the cosplay value of everything, but since the Mlady it's a very fast attacking weapon, it can proc bleeding against enemies like a maniac, as you will be able to see all throughout the gameplay that you'll see in the background. So yes, the blood Mlady becomes a monster thanks to bleeding. That being said, before we continue, a little quick word from today's sponsor. Has it ever happened to you that you want to do that one playthrough, dual wielding, that one amazing weapon that you can only get one per run, like the very powerful combo, dual wielding a Reduvia? Maybe you want to do that one build that's missing that one talisman because the quest gives you either or. Well, with my exclusive code, RPJames, you can get that stuff from my friends at Eldorado GG with a special discounts at very good prices. It is a very safe place where you can buy lots of different stuff for lots of different games with secure transactions and 24/7 live support. You can get all of the new and old weapons, talismans, armors from base game and DLC in Elden Ring, so that you only have to worry about crafting those crazy combos and builds that we love to make. Remember that all you have to do is use my exclusive code RPJames, or the link in the video description, or the link that you will see in the pinned comment to get a extra special discount in your purchases with them. So our character build is 150. This is, by all means, one of those very stat-hungry builds, because we're dividing our stats in between to reach the maximum soft cap and hard cap possible for either arcane and dexterity. The weapon damage doesn't scale that good with arcane, so that's why we're dividing our damage. Our goal, our focus is to reach the dexterity soft cap as much as humanly possible. We don't quite manage to get the 60 right here, but 55 it's just closely enough, and then arcane 55, that's around where you stop getting like diminishing, you start getting like returns at all into blood buildup, and this is going to yield you 112 blood loss buildup with our weapon as we have it right here. So this is just fine. Intelligence and faith, we want those as a base requirement for a weapon that we're using purely for cosplay value, but I think that's one of the crappiest weapons that we have in DLC. We'll talk about it in a little while. Then again, we have Vigor at 50 because this is a very stat-hungry build. Mind 15, Endurance 23. The Ashes of War that we'll be using in here rarely consume FP. As a matter of fact, the Ash of War that I'm using right now for this weapon, which is the Bloody Slash, it costs 6 FP, so you can actually lower mind a little bit more right here. In the game, Alucard actually does uses throwing daggers. Unfortunately, the Smith script daggers right here, they have awful reach. Their tracking is just nearly to non-existent, and the blood loss build up that you get out of a blood Smith script dagger with 55 arcane, it's just like 47. So more often than not, it's going to be a little extra interesting oddity that you'll have right here. Although I do like to place Bloodhound Step right here because it's a dagger that you can have in your offhand, and the Bloodhound Step has that extra little nimbleness and agility that Alucard is known for. So there's that. We have the Bloody Mlady right here with the Bloody Slash, and then I'd say that the Banished Knight shield is the closest resemblant shield to the one that he uses on the anime series, so that's why we're using this one right here. Now the armor, I think that the one that resembles Alucard the most would be Haslow's armor, especially because of the cloak and the cape. And to be able to sustain that 51 poise threshold, I have the scaled grips that actually kind of fit a nice style right here. The only one that don't fit that much would be the gauntlets of solitude, but we're using this right here because they have nice poise and they allow us to have that 51 poise bypass that 51 poise threshold. The Haslow armor, it doesn't have that much poise, so we need as much poise as possible from everywhere else. The talismans are pretty straightforward. We're using Millicent Prestigious. Like I said, the Mlady, it's a very fast attacking weapon and gives us a little bit more of dexterity to be able to get closer to that soft cap that we have for our damage. So it's a little extra base damage and then extra percentage damage whenever we're doing consecutive attacks. And then we're going to have the lot of blood exaltation, which there's always going to be bleeding around us, meaning that we're always going to be taking advantage of that one right there. Shadow Alexander to increase the damage of our Ashes of War, and then the final one is going to be the Concession, although leaning a little bit more into a must kind of talisman because I have the Earth's Favorite +2. This allows me to use the equipment that I showed you previously, but you're not going to be you're not going to be fat rolling if you use like different talismans right here with the endurance, with the amount of endurance that we have. So yeah, it could be Earth's Favor, it could be Turtle Talisman, it could be also the Wing Sword Crest Insignia that also stacks with the Millicent Prestigious. This is your final slot where you would have like a little bit of a concession or on where or what are you going to use right there. There's a couple of Ashes of War that actually go well with this build and that synergize pretty good with this build. One of them being the Bloody Slash that deals tremendous amounts of damage. It also adds that extra bleed build-up. You take a little bit more damage to your health, but still a very high damage. And the range in this thing is just tremendous. And then we have the Blood Blade, which is actually kind of nice as well, although it leaves you open quite a lot, so I don't like it that much as the one that I like for the Bloody Slash. You could also be using, like for example, with your Smith's Script Dagger right here that we have. We can use Bloodhound Step for whenever you actually have to dodge those very tight windows of opportunity, that those AoE attacks that you have right there. One of the Ashes of War that I actually like to use that as well as a blood infusion would be, for example, the Raptor of the Mists. Because if you learn how to use this thing, it's very powerful. If you use it at the end of the combo, you can punish bosses with a very swift and nimble and agile depiction of you losing yourself in the mist. And I think that this one goes very good with the cosplay that we're trying to accomplish in here. The mix of Wondrous Physique, the Dexterity Knocked Crystal Tia is going to yield you extra native damage just because we still have we haven't reached the hard cap, we haven't reached the soft cap of our build right here, so this increases our damage quite a lot. And then we have the Thorny Crack tier that makes the consecutive attack grow stronger in a mixed physique. This is also going to benefit your Mlady because, like I said, the Mlady, if you time properly some combos, you can do, for example, a heavy and 2 lights, and that's going to be like 6 hits on just a very fast succession. So yeah, the Mlady, if you know how to timely press the combos in between the heavy and the light attacks, the Mlady is just a monstrous fast attacking, high damaging weapon. So the overall goal of everything right here was to be able to look like Alucard, while at the same time we would have a very gracious, agile, nimble character that would have lots and lots of tremendous damage. What do you know? You are a vampire, so blood is all tied up with the overall vibe that the character has to it. But also, more than that, and even say beyond than that, you deal tremendous amounts of damage because the bleeding on itself, it's the best status ailment in the entirety of the game. And the base damage of the weapon, while not that amazing, because of the Ash of War, you do have still that base extra damage that is just tremendous. It's a very well-rounded build. You have Bloodhound Step, you have Bloody Slash, you have a lot of different stuff right here that it makes this a very powerful little something, while at the same time you are Alucard. Like, how cool is that? Anyways, if you like the content, so like and appreciate it. And also, they are a gorgeous and beautiful person, you're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, have a beautiful day, and goodbye.